ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्र ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः।
श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशधारिणे। नमो महावरम्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामाय गौरवे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुदेवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयति गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं।
So our topic was going to be art of living and art of leaving. Right? Why I'm saying it was going to be like that because after I just got the inspiration, let me speak something that should be done in the middle of the two, living and leaving. Right? So I have chosen a verse. So we'll discuss on the topic now, art of letting go. How do you do it? Right? Why should we do it? So this is first canto, 15th chapter, 40th verse. Visrijyatatra tat sarv 1:15-40. If you want to open on your mobile phones, look at it. Visrijyatatra tat sarvam. You can recite it. Make it up, whatever words. Visrijyatatra tat sarvam.
विसृज्यतत्र तत्सर्वं
Dukula valayadikam. निर्ममो निरहंकारः संचिन्ना शेषबन्धनः विसृज्य तत्र तत्सर्वं दुकूल वलयादिकं निर्ममो निरहंकारः संचिन्ना शेषबन्धनः विसृज्य तत्र तत्सर्वं दुकूल वलयादिकं निर्ममो निरहंकारः संचिन्ना शेषबन्धनः। विसृज्य तत्र तत्सर्वम्
दुकूलवलयादिकम् निर्ममो निरहङ्कारः सच्चिन्नाशेषबन्धनः
विसृज्य तत्र तत्सर्वम्
विसृज्य तत्र तत्सर्वम्
दुःखूलावलयादिकम्
निर्ममो
निर्ममो निरहङ्कारः सञ्चिन्नाशेषबन्धनः
विसृज्य तत्र तत्सर्वम्
विसृज्य तत्र तत्सर्वम्
दुकूलवलयादिकम् निर्ममो निरहङ्कारः सञ्चिन्नाशेषबन्धनः विसृज्य तत्र तत्सर्वम्
विसृज्य तत्र तत्सर्वम्
दुकूलवलयादिकम्
निर्ममो निरहङ्कारः सञ्चिन्नाशेषबन्धनः
Anybody among the girls? You all were given that list, right?
विसृज्य तत्र तत्सर्वम्
विसृज्य तत्र तत्सर्वम्
दुकूलवलयादिकम्
निर्ममो निरहङ्कारः सञ्चिन्नाशेषबन्धनः
Boys, are they there? Where are they? Where are the boys?
विसृज्य तत्र तत्सर्वम्
विसृज्य तत्र तत्सर्वम् दुकूलवलयादिकम् निर्ममो निरहङ्कारः सञ्चिन्नाशेषबन्धनः
I'll read the translation and purport by His Divine Grace of His Charanarvind Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada.
Jai.
Translation. Maharaj Yudhishthira at once relinquished all his garments, wealth and ornaments of the royal order and became completely disinterested and unattached to everything. Purport. To become purified of material contamination is the necessary qualification for becoming one of the associates of the Lord. No one can become an associate of the Lord or can go back to Godhead without such purification. Maharaj Yudhishthira, therefore, to become spiritually pure, at once gave up his royal opulence, relinquishing his royal dress and garments. The kashaya, or saffron loincloth of a sannyasi, indicates freedom from all attractive material garments, and thus he changed his dress accordingly. He became disinterested in his kingdom and family and thus became free from all material contamination or material designation. People are generally attached to various kinds of designations. The designations of family, society, country, occupation, wealth, position, and many others. As long as one is attached to such designations, he is considered materially impure. The so-called leaders of men in the modern age are attached by national consciousness, but they do not maga, national consciousness. Maga Vaishya. There's another verse with it, Maga. Maga Moha Vaishya. Okay. But they do not know that such false consciousness is also another designation of the materially conditioned soul. One has to relinquish such designations before one can become eligible to go back to Godhead. Foolish people adore such men who die in national consciousness. But here is an example of Maharaj Yudhishthira, a royal king who prepared himself to leave this world without such national consciousness. And yet he is remembered even today because he was a great pious king. almost on the same level with the personality of Godhead Sri Ram. So this mention comes uh, at a place in Bhagavatam. And because people of the world were dominated by such pious kings, they were happy in all respects, and it was quite possible for such great emperors to rule the world. Okay. So thank you very much for inviting me, most of you. I'm glad to be with all of you. All the way they have come to bathroom, which Haridas Maharaj glorified today on. They will appreciating all of you. Okay, that's something nice, right? And our superiors and leaders, they appreciate our seva, right? When we have made a place in their hearts, that's our glory, right? For our sincere seva. Srila Jiva Goswami, he says amongst all the scriptures, Srimad Bhagavatam has a very special place. He says there are three reasons for it. The first reason he says is that Srimad Bhagavatam is presented by Srila Vyasadeva, and more than that, Srila Vyasadeva has written it in his maturity. After he had written all the scriptures, and after meeting Narad Muni, Vyasadeva decided, upon instruction of Narada, that I will re-edit Srimad Bhagavatam, and then two things he did: glorified Krishna and glorified Bhakti. So that is the first reason he says, that Bhagavatam is special. Second thing he says, Bhagavatam is special amongst all the scriptures because of the speaker. The speaker is Shukdev Goswami. He spoke to Parikshit. Right? Shukamukha Nigama Kalpa Taror Galitam Phalam Shukamukha Amruta Dravya Samyutam. Vyasdev, in writing the first three verses that he is writing for Srimad Bhagavatam, in that he says, Nigama Kalpa Taror Galitam Phalam. If all the Vedas are considered to be a wish-fulfilling desire tree, so from a tree, we all look for the fruit. We want the fruit from the tree. What is the fruit, the ripened fruit of the Vedic tree? He says this Srimad Bhagavatam. So what is special in that? So when there is a mango or a mango that ripes on the tree, it's ripened there, very sweet. And all the more sweet mango, where do you get it? When the same mango is touched by the beak, a parrot touches the mango by its beak, that mango becomes even more sweeter. So Vyasadeva is the first reason why Bhagavatam is special. Second reason, Vyasadeva is saying, Shukamukha. Vyasadeva is saying that Shukamukha, Shukadeva Goswami has spoken it. That's why it is special. So the compiler is Vyasa, the speaker is Shukadeva Goswami. The third reason Jiva Goswami says why Bhagavatam is special, he says because of the person who is listening to Bhagavatam, the audience. That's Parikshit Maharaj. Parikshit Maharaj, so attentive, so eager to hear. There are times where Shukadeva Goswami says, I am feeling inspired to speak to you because you are so attentive. You are so eager to hear. Right? So today when we continue past 11 o'clock, which you have allowed me, now your smile is saying something else. So all the credit for the extended session will go to the listeners. Right? If tomorrow you have to complain to the temple and Harivilas Maharaj, whom did you send? This guy session till midnight, Maharaj. So who would be responsible for it?
Listeners.
The listeners. That's why I spoke all this. Right? Glorification of Bhagavatam was just to bring home the point. If any complaint has to go back to the temple, you should complain about each other. Each mere taraf mat dekh. Looking at me only. Okay. So this is a very beautiful verse. Srila Prabhupada, out of all the Mukundamana Stotra verses, which are so sweet, nectarian, Srila Prabhupada liked one a lot. And to the point that Srila Prabhupada would often sing it, and Srila Prabhupada even recorded an album in his own voice. If you go to KK Songs Krishna, KKSongs.com, that website is there, you'll find it will appear there as a bhajan. One paragraph, one verse from there. And Srila Prabhupada, when Yamuna Mataji had asked her in one time, which is your favorite verse? So he had minutes. Out of Bhagavad Gita, he said, Dehinosmi Athavehe. But here, this was the verse. Krishna Tvadiya Pad Pankaj Panjarantam Adyaiva me Vishato Manas Rajahamsaha Prana Prayana Samaye Kafavata Pittai Kantha Vidhau Smaranam Kutaste. So he's saying, Krishna Tvadiya Pada Pankaja Panjarantam. Krishna, your lotus feet, they're actually like lotus stems. Right? Krishna, the way Krishna stands, right? We see Krishna, Tribhanga. Right? Krishna Tvadiya Pada Pankaja, your lotus feet is there, and my mind is like Hamsa. He's saying, it's like a swan. And the swan loves to play around the lotuses. So, since the swan likes to play around the lotuses, Kulashekar Alvar, who is writing this bhajan, this entire Mukunda Mala Stotra, he says, my mind is like that swan. Let the swan of my mind play around these lotuses of your feet. Right? Why is he praying for that? He says, let it happen now. Let my mind always be focused on, and be able to meditate on your lotus feet. If somebody will ask, why Mr. Kulashekar, why do you want to do that? He says, Prana Prayana Samai. When prana, when the very life air will go out of this body, when the time of death will come, Prana Prayana Samai, at that time, he says, Kapha Vata Pittai. The Kapha, Vata and Pitta, it will all rise up in my body. And Kantha Avarodhana Vidho. My Kantha will get avaruddha, get blocked by this Kapha Vata Pitta. And then he says, Smaranam Kutaste. How will I be able to remember you, Krishna, at the time of death? Srila Prabhupada would say, it is easy to teach a parrot. If you have a parrot as a pet, you can teach the parrot. Say, anybody comes and say, Ram Ram, Ram Ram, Ram Ram. But Prabhupada says, if a crow catches the neck of that parrot anytime, and the parrot sees now death, now the parrot will say, Ka Ka, Ka Ka, Ka Ka. Where is Ram Ram? That could not come from. That did not got uttered. All this time what was going on? So that's why Kulashekar Alvar says, let me prepare now, Krishna. Let me right away think of you. Let my smarana, let the swan of my mind always be around the lotus feet, your lotus feet. Let me be meditating like that. So for us also, as we all are living in this world, we have to leave this world, but we have to prepare for it. I'll ask you a question. How many of you have seen a rocket launch? A rocket launch on the TV? I'm not saying you've been to Florida or California. I'm not on TV, on YouTube somewhere you must have seen, right? Okay? Please, I need to see the raise of hand. Thank you. Now when the question comes, everyone has to attempt, huh? Because I can choose anybody to answer. Raj Narsingh will not say anything. Okay? You find the rocket goes beyond the gravitational pull of the earth. Right? It goes beyond. Why? What is there in this rocket? That it can go beyond the earth is trying to pull. But this rocket takes the satellite up beyond the gravity. How?
The fuel and the force.
The fuel and the force. So if you put the same fuel in your car, will it go? No? Yes or no? No?
There is a greater force pushing it up than the
Who's pulling it up?
But, I mean,
There's a thrust.
yeah.
Okay, you see the kind of fuel that they use? That's what gives the thrust?
No.
Okay, it's engineered like that?
Yeah, like fire.
Okay, and yes.
Bernoulli's principle.
First, but the direction also.
Okay, thrust. Okay, direct. If my car I keep like that, I can direct my car go beyond the gravity.
The velocity it reaches, its escape velocity, so it escapes.
So my car can also reach.
If you can take the car to that velocity, it will go.
You know what is the answer? Why does the rocket go beyond the gravity? उसके पीछे आग लगी। इसके पीछे आग, there's a fire behind it, right? तो जब आग लगी ना, but then all of you must have observed, just the fire does not do the job. There is something that happens midway somewhere. They will show you during the live, broadcast. There is something that falls off the rocket. What is that?
The outer shell.
Not the shell, not the outer shell. There is something that the rocket, if it does not throw, it will never go beyond the gravity. It will never catch the escape velocity speed. What is it that the rocket has to throw off?
Extra weight.
The engine. No. Extra weight? Why would they carry extra weight? Wait, fuel only though. No, they don't throw the fuel off. What do they throw? What do they booster? No. These are essentials. How can they throw the booster away? You all raise hands. What's going on here? You all have watched it. But from there you can understand so much about spiritual life. You know what it throws off?
Outer body.
No, not the outer body. Empty cylinders.
Empty cylinder.
Empty, no, not shell, empty fuel cylinders. We also want to go back home, back to Godhead. Can we identify our empty shells? We also want to go beyond the escape velocity of Maya. Right? We want to go beyond the gravity of Maya, pull of Maya. We want to get that escape velocity. Can we identify our empty cylinders? But generally what happens, we hold on to our empty cylinders, our attachments to this world, and then we are thinking, we are doubting, is the process working? Will I go back home, back to Godhead? Will it happen? Right? Like Tukaram Maharaj, today morning we were discussing, Maharashtra, Tukaram Maharaj, if you have heard of this name, a saint, right? For him, Vaikuntha Vimana had come to take him. Now he's supposed to go back home, back to Godhead. Vaikuntha Vimana is there. And he's about to go, and he calls for his wife. You want to come? July 4th offer. Independence Day offer, Come. Just because you served me, you assisted me and everything, I can take you. You know what was her empty cylinder that stopped her? She said, my buffalo. I'm not joking. She told her husband, which is Tukaram Maharaj, she said, Saint Tukaram, I cannot come. Who will take care of my buffalo? You are all smiling and laughing. We all have our buffaloes. We all keep our buffaloes. And then Krishna will come and say, oh, are you ready? Are you ready to come back? Come with me back home, back to Godhead? What happens? We'll have to see that what are our empty cylinders, and more than that, do we have the attitude of the art of letting go? You are ready for the topic? Shall we begin?
Yes.
Let us pray. Okay. So Yudhishthira Maharaj, I took this verse specially because Yudhishthira and Pandavas, Srila Prabhupada says, they are typical pure devotees. Right? Why typical pure devotees? Sometimes we may hear stories about pure devotees and we say, they came from somewhere, they did this, they performed bhakti and they went back. But Prabhupada says, look at the life of Pandavas. Typical pure devotees. What a pure devotees will go through, how they respond to those situations. They came into this world, they served the Lord, and they went back home, back to Godhead. And the verse that I have chosen, 1:15-40, Yudhishthira Maharaj, just before, some verses before it comes, he understood that Krishna has gone back to Vaikuntha. Krishna decided, and he moved on. Arjuna comes and gives this news to Yudhishthira. And what does Yudhishthira do? Wonderful. If that's the case, why should I be sitting on the throne? Let me also leave. So Yudhishthira mother leaves, right? And then Bhima follows, Arjuna follows, Draupadi follows, Nakul and Sahadev also follow. And looking at this one, we think, how could they leave so easily? Because they all, the typical pure devotees, cultivated this art of letting go. Let go. Time has come. We did it. And the entire Kurukshetra war was fought. Why? To put Yudhishthira as the emperor. How many years did Yudhishthira rule?
100 days.
36 years. 36 years only. I can imagine 64 crore Kshatriyas died on that battlefield. Right? In that battle, 64 crore Kshatriyas died. Only 36 years. I don't know. I remain. मेरे लिए इतना क्या? For me, Krishna did so much to put me on the throne. Krishna, you go ahead. Let me come. No, you wanted me to. No, I was simply a representative of Krishna in this world. Right? I'm not supposed to remain here. I'm supposed to follow Krishna. This art of letting go cannot happen, right, at the time of deathbed. That's what Kulashekar Alvar is saying. Very difficult. Prana, prayana, samaye, kafalata kitte. It will not happen. Let me think of you now, Krishna. Right? So this art of letting go, so you find Yudhishthira Maharaj and Pandavas, they live their life perfectly as per dharma, and now they all have prepared to go back to God. So one may say, can happen with pure devotees, But why I am saying again and again, typical pure devotees, think of the life of Pandavas, right? A life of strife and struggle, that's all. Right? That's all happened with Pandavas, right? There was never a steady state of stability in their life. Never. Where were they born?
In forest.
Forest. Think of it. They were not born in a kingdom, in a palace. They were born in the forest. And by the time Pandavas understood the world, they understood. Our father is no more. Pandu is not there. Madari is not there. Right? Kunti alone, the widow, is taking care of this. She took care of this 5 kids. And by the time they came to Hastinapur, everyone in Hastinapur is talking about it. Illegitimate children of Kunti. That's what they got to hear. Oh, right? What happened? Now they come to the palace, they come to the kingdom, they live there, and then they are sent, oh, some special arrangement has been made for all of you. A Laksha Gruha, a house of lakh. But the plan was, and they thought, we are going for retreat. But the plan was to murder them. They were saved by Vidura, inspired by Krishna. Vidura saved them. Again, into the forest. By the time they come back, the gambling match, right? And Indraprastha, all that happens. Again forest, right? Again battle. All throughout life there was no stability in their life. And through all this, as an evidence, you find Bhishma is lying on the arrow bed. He's about to leave his body. And looking at Pandavas, especially Yudhishthira, he says, Aho kashtam, aho anyayam. Yad yuyam dharmanandanaha. He says, Jivitum nanatha krishnam, vipra dharma achyuta ashraya. He says, Aho kashtam. Looking at them, he says, Kashta. You all, what terrible sufferings you have undergone, Pandavas. Bhishma is leaving his body. At that time, he is saying this, Aho kashtam. How many of you have been through troubles in life? Some of you are looking at me. They are undergoing it now, right? They are already new. Right? So, we all have been through troubles, one will say. So we all can say. But anyaya, what happens when somebody, right, does injustice? So difficult to take it. Troubles, suffering is one thing, but when I undergo injustice, very painful to handle it. But Bhishma is saying, Aho kashtam, aho anyayam. When did you have to go through all this? In spite of you all being the, and especially Yudhishthira Maharaj, being the sons of religion personified, he says. You can do your dharma nandana. He says, you did not deserve to remain alive under those tribulations. Bhishma is convinced. None of those situations that you underwent, you should have been alive. Yet you are protected by Brahmanas, God and religion. In other words, he says, Yatra dharma suto raja, Yudhishthira, you are dharma sutra, you are the son of dharma, Gada. One says, yes, he is dharma sutra. He says, you are the son of the demigod controlling religion, so religion is on your side, Yudhishthira. Then amongst Pandavas, he says, Gada Pani, Vrikodaraha, the strength was the bala of Bhima is there, Dharma of Yudhishthira is there, Gandiva, Arjuna, the Gandiva wielder. What combination do you need? Everything materially possible was there. And yet you had to undergo such situation. And more than that, Bhishma points finger at Arjuna, Krishna, and he says, Suhrit Krishna, your Suhrit, your heart-to-heart friend, your dear friend is Krishna, Tato Viva. And still you had to undergo so many troubles in life. So they always face reversals in personal life, but they sailed seamlessly. And now they are sailing back home, back to Godhead in this chapter. How did they do it? What did they do? So from Pandavas and all these examples, we have to learn the art of letting go. Now, one question that I thought of was, why did Krishna make Pandavas go through all these troubles? If you look at it, you see, Krishna is there. Why did he allow this to happen? So, now the Acharya, he says, just because Krishna wanted to glorify them. Look at my devotees. How do they respond to situation? How do they prepare themselves? And Krishna wanted to glorify Pandavas. So, wherever we go for a pilgrimage in India, especially, if you'll find the local people will say, Pandavas had come here. Yes, anywhere you go, whichever part of country you go, if you don't know about a temple or anything, Pandavas. Pandavas have been here. Right? So, Krishna made them go around, right? But why? To teach us to give up, let go, and move on. Like the Pandavas are a perfect example of it. So, there is so much talk about letting go in this world. Let go. And many times we will counsel somebody. Leave it. Don't hold on to it. Let go. But it's so difficult to learn that art and have that attitude of letting go. Right? Why? Because we have accepted a temporary reality. It is a real world, but it's a temporary world. And what happens? It is beyond our control, and we want to hold on to situations. Right? Like one time there was a old father of 3 sons, and this father had a cloth business. Right? They had a cloth shop, and these 3 sons were now grown up, and they wanted to tell their father, enough of it. Please, be at home, do your bhajan, do your bhakti now. Please, no need to come to the shop anymore. We will take care of it. But the father would not listen. Every day he would come to the shop and meddle in the affairs. I said, that customer we lost, your food. And the sons were like, we're trying to explain, he doesn't understand. One day one sadhu came to the shop. Right? And these sons, they requested this sadhu, can you help us? Bring some detachment, let go. Our father is not ready to let go. Can you do something? And the sage said, yes, I'll try. And the sage took the old man by his hand and took him to a crematorium. You know, crematorium where the bodies are burnt at Shamshan Ghat. So this old man was made to sit, and the whole day, so many people would come with a dead body. They put on the fire, the dead body would burn, people are crying, and they would go. Whole day this went on. And by evening, the old man started crying. My life is a waste. Why did I continue like this? I don't know. What did I achieve out of this? And the sadhu understood, calm ho gaya. Again took him by the old man, and he took him by his hand and brought him to the shop in front of his sons. And the father continued his crying. What is the use of my life? Why did I live like this? What did I achieve? And the sons were like, wow, it seems some change has happened. And one of them asked, Father, Papa, why are you saying this? And this old man said, if I would have met this sage before, and whatever he did with me today, if that would have happened 50 years ago, if I would know that so many people die and so much wood can get sold, I would have done wood business rather than cloth business. Nothing, isn't it? We don't want to let go. We want to hold on. Right? Everything is subject to change, right? And constantly there is a change. But we want to hold on. So Krishna says in the second chapter of the Gita, Nasato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate sataha, ubayor api drishto antas, tva anayos tattvadarshibhihi. The seers of truth, Prabhupada translates it like that. The seers of truth have concluded for the spiritual, for the material body, there is no endurance. And for the soul, which is eternal, there is no change. The material body, the material circumstances, everything around us will change. But we do not, have that, we do not agree for that change. We want to hold on. ऐसे ही रहेगा, ऐसे ही चलेगा. But suddenly circumstances change. Now what did you prepare? Are you ready? Because what happens if we don't give up, things will give up on us very soon, right? All around. Like they say, a flowing river. And if you go to a flowing river, you cannot bathe in the same water twice. It's a different water. That's why this world is called Jagat. What does Jagat mean? Jagat means it comes into existence and it loses it. And again comes into birth, birth, and death. It goes on. But we are not ready to accept that change. So when Bharat Maharaj, he came to Chitrakoot to convince Ram, not Chitrakoot actually, before that, he came there, he came there and he was trying to convince Ram, come back to Ayodhya. Right? Kanai has accepted before the news was given that father is no more. Right? And now Kanai has accepted. So Bharat Maharaj said, I never wanted to become the king. Come back to Ayodhya, you become the king, and I will serve you. Right? There, Lord Ram teaches very beautiful lesson to Bharat. Lord Ram says, this is the world of duality. Right? Good, bad, right, wrong, success, failure, right? Birth, death, meeting and separation. All this happens. This will go on. The destiny is brought to a point, us to a point. Now, you should become the king of Ayodhya, and I will go to the forest. Right? So, Srila Prabhupada was asked by one reporter one time, oh, you are a guru? He said, yes. So, do you know everything? I was, yes. And this person said, if you know everything, then tell me, how many windows are there in the Empire State Building? And this question was asked, Prabhupada's answer was, as many drops in the mirage. It's mirage, it doesn't exist, but as many drops of water in a mirage, that many windows in the Empire State Building, Prabhupada said. That means, what useless question. For your information, there are 6,514 windows in the Empire State Building. Okay? They recently changed all of them, and it cost them $700 to change one window. That's the thing. So this world is constantly changing. If we are, what is changing around us? The first thing is the date changes every day. Right? And the calendar changes every year. Right? There's a date change. How many of you are ready for it? Oh, the date has moved on. Can we stop it? Can we stop Kala Chakra? To move on. This change, every day we see this change happening, right? But are we ready? What else will change? The body will change. Right? Which is the verse that Krishna says the body will change? Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumayam yauvanam jara tatha dehantara prapte dhirastatra muhyati. So at age 1, success is about getting to stand without taking any support. Success. At age 4, if you can stop urinating in your pants, that is success. At age 8, if you can return home on your own. How, Papa, now I know the way. At age 8. At age 12, if you can make friends, that is success. At age 16 in US or when you are 18 in India, success is if you can get a driving license. At age 25, if you have finished your career and you've got a job, now the time. When you are 50, can you remain employable still? That's success. At age 60, if you can still retain your driving license. At age 65, do you still have those friends that you made? At age 70, can you return home without any help? At age 75, you don't urinate in your pants. And at age 80, to walk without any support. See how time will change? And how body will respond? How many of us are ready? This is going to happen. How many of us are ready to let go? But what happens? We remain stuck with the idea that things will remain the way I like it to be. Circumstances will be the way I have designed them. No, that's not the nature of the material world. It is ashashvatam. It is temporary. We have to learn the art of letting go. How are people around us? Do they change? School friends, college friends, office colleagues, right? One time, Prahlad Swami was saying in his lecture, either we will leave the people, or people will leave us, or time will take either of us away. So relationships are not permanent. How about places? Do places change? The cities are changing, right? Cities change, countries, right? This country was going in one direction and suddenly after elections, this place is changing now. Something is happening with this country. Every time I have to go through an immigration check, it's a scare now. What will they ask? Every time I'm going through immigration now, I'm going to Canada, US, Canada, like that. Every time I have to go through immigration, one common question is coming. Do you have a credit card? They want to see my credit card now. They never ask this question. But cities change, back in India, it would be called Mumbai Devi, right? Garamchand, who is from Bombay, right? Or Mumbai Devi, no? Mumbai Devi was quite different. Then, because English people, they could not, Englishmen, they could not pronounce Mumbai Devi, they made it Bombay. Bombay. I don't know what they would store bombs or what in this day, but Bombay. It has become Mumbai now. So much change in that place. And people talk about it. Oh, when we were small, this city was like this. It's changed. Wow. It's still, our generation, not this generation, they will not understand this. They're all cloud storage wala people. Our generation was magnetic tapes, right? क्या होता था मैग्नेटिक टेप के साथ it would get stuck at one part और उसको गोल गोल घुमा दो कोई आवाज आता था. Sometimes people remain stuck. When I was 18, when I was 25, let it go. Right? The society will change. The village, the family. The people earlier would talk about village. Then they would talk about family. Then they would talk about nuclear family. Now they talk about nuclear fission family. Right? Business and markets change. Right? In the year 2000, they made a list of Fortune 500 companies. Right? And by another 10 years, 50% of those companies did not even exist. In 10 years, can you imagine? Fortune 500 companies, 50%. And next 10 years, they expected that 250 of them will go extinct. Nobody even know about them. So tech is changing. How many of you agree? Technology is changing. Those who are working in IT, they especially the technology, the way it's changing. What will happen, we don't know. Environment is changing, governments change, climate change, right? And this is all around us. What about us? Are we changing? Yes. The health, right? Our opinions, our goals. But what happens when there is a change and when we show inertia, right? We want to maintain our inertia. We want to hang on. We want to latch on to our old past and we don't move on. What will happen? If you don't change along with the change, we become dysfunctional. Right? What are we supposed to do? Right? We are supposed to accept this change, but acceptance, along with acceptance, the right attitude. Yeah, let go. It had to go. I have to move on. My goal is to go back home, back to Godhead. I cannot run along with the empty cylinders. To identify our empty cylinders is also very important. Right? Sometimes opinions, sometimes habits, sometimes. So all this. So what should we do? We should let go. In the Bhagavatam, 11th canto, there's a pastime of Avadhuta Brahmana. Right? This Avadhuta Brahmana had 24 gurus. He learned from his surroundings. And one of the gurus, he says, was a hawk. A hawk. Sorry? Hawk.
Eagle kind of.
Eagle, you can say, right? So he says there, what did I learn from this hawk? He says, Samisham Pururam Jagnur Balino Anye Niramishaha Tadamisham Parityajya Sasukham Samvindata. So this Avadhuta Brahmana saw that there was a hawk. This hawk saw a loaf of meat, a piece of meat, right? This hawk picked it up and was flying, and it saw all other hawks started attacking this hawk. I didn't do anything to anybody here. Why are they attacking me? For some time, he held on to that meat, and out of frustration, why are you hitting me? He threw away the meat. And all other hawks, they went to grab that piece of meat. And then this eagle realized, oh, they had nothing to give and take with me. They were all looking at what I was holding and what I was not letting go. Right? If we hold on, so much pain will come. What gives pain is because we are not ready to let go. Right? So the hawk came to the conclusion, right, that it's better that I let go. Right? But what happens with us? Bhagavatam, 2nd canto, 1st chapter, 4th verse, Shukdev Goswami says, Dehapatya kalatradishu atmasainyeshu satsvapi tesham pramatto nidhanam Pashyan api na pashyati. We see, but we do not see. Pashyan api na pashyati. Right? Although they are sufficiently experienced, they still do not see the inevitable destruction of what? Deha. This body will finish one day. Then what else will finish? Apatya, children. Dekha, patya, kalatra, adishu, the wife, children, home, family, everything. Right? These are all fallible soldiers, Shukdev Goswami says. Right? If a king has to protect his palace, his kingdom, you cannot put mannequins as soldiers. You need living soldiers. You cannot put dead people or mannequins there. But Shukdev Goswami says, all these, Tesham, Pramatta, so mad that we become so intoxicated, right, with our ideas and our attitude to hold on and not let go. Bhagavatam, Pramatta, he says, Pashyanapi, they know but they cannot see. They see, but they cannot see. Parikshit Maharaj, for him, Shukadeva Goswami says, Atmajaya Sutta Gara Pashu Dravida Bandhushu Prache Cha Vigale Nityam Virudham Mamatam Juhau. Mamata means English. Sorry, Mamata, another word in Hindi, Sanskrit. Mamata is Asakti. You have heard of this word Asakti? Asakti means कभी भी कहीं भी किसी से भी आ सकती है. So Asakti बोलते हैं, right? So Parikshit Maharaj, for their Shukadeva Goswami, these 8 things, we very quickly become attached to them and very strongly attached. Atma here is the body, very attached to the body. Srila Prabhupada says the patient is lying on the bed. 9 holes of the body, there are pipes. And if there are less holes, the doctors make few more. Right? And this patient is lying. The patient also is told, yeah, another week for you, another 3-4 days for you. Prabhupada says, go to that patient and say, give up this body, you get another. Don't tell me that. Give up the body, why should you give up the body? Keep on trying, man. Do something for me. They don't want to give up the body. Prabhupada says, you tell them, give up this body, I'll make you the president. You get the president's body. No. This is the one I want. Prabhupada gives another story. Prabhupada says, one time Indra got cursed by a sage to go to the earthly world and become a pig. And now the dimension that Indra was supposed to live in the pig's body was over. And Brahmaji was there. There is no Indra. I should go and bring him back. And Brahmaji comes and tells this pig, come on, you are Indra. Come back. And the pig says, I'm so happy. You are Indra, man. You are Indra. No, but I am happy as pig now. I am so happy. And Brahmaji says, what are you happy about? You look at the place where I live, it is so nice. You know the thing, these girls do not understand. They do not know where how people live. It's called a gutter in India, gutter. Right? Word is gutter.
But they know the gutters here only.
They know different kind of gutter, they know. Okay. A swamp. Right? That's where a pig lives. And Brahmaji said, oh really? Brahmaji killed the swamp. Now you will come. Yes, no. Why? My sheep and my piglets. So Brahmaji killed the piglets. He killed them. Now will you come? He said, no. I still have hope of getting few more. I can get more piglets. You're right. Brahmaji kills the sheep. And Indra is like, now you will come. No, I'm still living, I can do it. Brahmaji had to kill the pig and take the soul of Indra back. The lesson Prabhupada teaches is so attached wherever we go. In whichever condition we become attached. Right? Asakti is so strong. Let us take some examples. We have, how much more time do we have? 9:15, 10:15, and we still have 2 hours 45 minutes. We still have 2 hours 45 minutes. So we can do good faster. Don't laugh at me like this. I have recorded your first statement. Right? Even if you smile and laugh and you want to give me your fear, no, you don't want to, but it will continue now. Bad examples of letting go, let's say. Because sometimes bad examples teach us good lessons. If we see good examples, we think, oh, they can do it, they are pure devotees. When we see the bad examples, we can actually learn. Amongst people, you find Dhritarashtra. His name is Dhritarashtra. Dhrita. He is holding on. Very tight, doesn't let go. Right? Dhritarashtra. He feels he is not qualified to become the king. He is born blind. He cannot be the king. But he wanted to sit on that throne. And so much so that he got the chance after Pandu died, he was put on the throne. He planned how my children will become the next king. Kanai, when she got to know the news, Kunti has already given birth to Yudhishthira. And Yudhishthira will become the senior most in the family now. Gandhari was pregnant. She, hit her wombs such a heavy blow with her fist. She gave birth to a lump of meat, a lump of skin, you can say. And Vyasdev was called, that was cut into 100 pieces, and that's what a test tube baby kind of a concept where 100 Kauravas were born. Right? So Dhritarashtra, very strongly holding on. Right? Do we see these examples? Do we see such examples? Yeah, we do see them. The President of America, I'm going to change the constitution. I want to become the president third time. I will not leave. I will change the constitution. I want to be the president. Prabhupada writes in the first canto of Bhagavatam, Prabhupada gives a purport. Prabhupada says, India was ruled under the Congress. When the Congress rule was there, initial years after independence, they brought these socialistic ideas where we would have 5-year planning commissions. The commissions were made and they would plan for next 5 years. And Prabhupada writes in the purport there, and Prabhupada has written these purports while he was in India. So Prabhupada writes there, one chairman of planning commission, the chairman of planning commission, he was going in his car to put his report in front of the parliament. Next 5-year plan for the country. And in the car, this planning commission chairman had a heart attack. And Prabhupada writes, the planning commission chairman could not plan for himself. he died in the car. Prabhupada writes that. Right? So, another example is Yayati Maharaj. In the Bhagavatam we will find, it came to a point, because he wanted to enjoy life. He is old, but he traded his old age with his son's youth. You take my old age, I want to become young, because I want to enjoy life. Right? What about relationships? In people, we saw example of Dhritarashtra and Yayati, and politicians. In relationships, those who were very close to us at one time, emotionally they were close to us, it may happen that they are not. Circumstances sometimes, right? Vasudev and Nanda Maharaj are meeting in Mathura. And Nanda Maharaj, very soft-hearted, he says, Vasudev, we are so closely related, but we cannot even meet in public. We have to meet in hiding. Why? So there, Vasudev says, Pravanam Shrotasu Yatha. He says, just like some leaf, some grass, some wood, some sticks, they all are flowing water, flowing river, water, it brings them together from different directions to flow together for some time, and the same water separates them. See, similarly, Suhruda, Chitra Karma, Vichitra Karma, we all come together. Time and karma brings us together, and same time and karma separates us. And we can simply observe. Right? Like back in India, in Pune is known for education. Every year you see this scene at the railway station. Parents inside the train, kids on the platform. Now they will say, we are going, take care of your story. Emotional parents, very emotional parents in India. Right? But if you ask them, who is separating you? Why are you are crying? Come say to whom they cannot stay together. There's a force acting on us called time, karma. We all will have to take our paths. We all have to go in certain way. But if we are not ready, if we are not prepared, if we do not let go, we become the cause of our own suffering. Right? You find the example of Sati. Sati married Shiva, right? And Daksha did not want that marriage. The father did not want that marriage. Daksha and Shiva kabhi bani nahi baat. Generally we think of Saas or Bahu. He's ulta. He's Mr. Sasur or Jamai kar. Jamta hi nahi thi baat. Jamai ke saath jam hi nahi raha. But the marriage happened. But Sati was trying somehow to patch it. Something will happen, right? Something will go on. Something I'll do. Sati understood one time that my father has arranged for a big, huge sacrifice. And she decided, I want to go. And she comes to Shiva. And she says, I saw so many aeroplanes going, all my sisters, everyone dressed up, decked up, they're all going for that sacrifice that is happening. I also want to. And she tells her, don't go. हस्बैंड बेचारा कितना धीरे बोलते ना वो। धीरे बोलते हैं बेचारे, ज़्यादा जोर से आवाज़ भी नहीं करते। शिवजी का कोई हाल है। Don't go. And she would not. She kept on, no, I want to. She gives so many reasons. She goes to the point. She says, "अरे अपनों में बातें होती रहती हैं. Our own relatives, these things happen." Still, Lord Shiva holds the ground and he says, "I am not going for sure because I know Daksha, your father, will not behave properly. I better keep distance." But Sati says, "No, I am going. I will try my best." By the time she reaches home, Daksha, her parents' home, she finds beautiful arrangement for the sacrifice, but no place is kept for Shiva, Lord Shiva. What? He's Devadi there. He's the top amongst all the devas. But Daksha can only see him as son-in-law, not as Shiva. He says, कभी-कभी chair देना भूल जाते, chair देना भूल जाते. She finds out there's a plan that sacrifice will happen, and the Yajna Bhag, whatever comes out of the sacrifice, the plan is there that Lord Shiva will not be offered. And she becomes so angry. She tells her father, why are you like this? And then she is disrespected. And ultimately, what does Sati do? Sati sits at one place, performs, goes into meditation, creates a fire from her body, and she goes Sati. Right? She burns herself. Right? What do we learn from here? Sati could not let go in that relationship. Sometimes even in the relationships you have to agree. Right? Things can happen. Sometimes you hold on so bad, and 18 years ago, the husbands have to go through this. 18 years ago, your mother, during that function at our home, your mother, and she was coming down. She looked at me and said this. And the husband said, "मैं क्या करूं? 18 years ago, what do I do? छोड़ दो बाबा, let go." But no, वो टेप नहीं चलता. अरे धामों में प्रसाद को ये right? It can happen to anybody. Men can hold on to something. Men can, it's a nature that we hold on very tight. Learn to let go, right? Sometimes you find Daksha's example. Daksha on the other side. Daksha's example comes when parents want to influence. Parents, they seek some amount of influence even on their grown-up children. They cannot see that they're grown-ups now. Allow them freedom, allow them to live. But the parents would like to even after some time, Right? Now Sati has got married, right? But Daksha still wants to have that influence on them, right? What happened? Both suffered. Okay. Our roles will change. Right? In life, as we live, what all will change? We're discussing that. Right? You're with me, right?
Yes.
I think you all have some sort of, that siddhi. That you can keep your eyes open and still sleep. So, you want to bother us? Everyone have this siddhi. You're awarded so that siddhi. We'll keep our eyes open and sleep. That's why I have to keep the session a little interactive. We'll pull out something he said. Okay. Next is our roles will change. As young couples, when they're married, they're so happy. I am beautiful, you are handsome, go on, right? But when they become parents, a different role has to be played now. Now you are a mother, you are no more a girl, you are a father, right? Your roles will change. You'll find as, a girl or a lady, so much goes on us. Oh, I'm beautiful, I have to take care of these things, do this thing. Right? But as soon as they become mothers, they won't even care about how they look. Everything about the child, baby. about it, everything. Oh, my baby is tender, my baby is so nice. What happens? Like, the roles will change in life. Right? From a wife to a mother, right? We have to move on, and as the roles change, we should agree to change ourselves, right? Otherwise, they say, जब मेकअप नहीं होता तो ब्रेकअप भी नहीं होता. Right? How many of you know Marilyn Monroe? You have heard of Marilyn Monroe? Huh? Right? How did she die? Anybody says that? How did she die? She committed suicide. Why? She was in front of her dressing table, a white blonde, and she saw a few grey hairs. She couldn't accept the change. What did she do? She wrote a suicide letter, a suicide note. I cannot imagine. I will not be followed by the photographers anymore. That's the gist of the letter. Because I look old. I'm starting to look old now. Right? And what should fathers do? Fathers have to see, my children are grown up now. Let me enjoy their success. But sometimes parents, what will they do? They become competitors to the children. Father especially. Right? What is father supposed to do? The father is supposed to create a succession plan, not subjugation plan. How do you grow up? Parents becoming competitors. Kanai is the example for it. She thought if Ram becomes the king, then my influence in the kingdom will reduce. And what all she did, entire Ramayana happens because of that. Right? So roles change, and as roles change, we need to adapt. Right? We need to move on. You find generations will change. Right? And the leaders need to acknowledge. So leadership is not just about creating laws. Leadership is not just about creating loyalists. Leadership is about creating a legacy. Not just laws, not just loyalists around you. Leaders should know I have to create a legacy. That's why you find in the Kurukshetra, in the Bhagavad Gita, as it is the cover page, how many personalities are there on the cover page? Three. Two. Okay. Three. Which ones?
Hanuman.
Hanuman is on the flag. Hanuman had assured Bhima, I will be there, don't worry. Learn from Hanuman. Hanuman knew in Treta Yuga when Ram appeared, I played the leadership role. Now the Yuga has changed. Krishna has appeared. Arjuna has the chance to serve. He simply moved behind. He adapted. He was ready for the change. He did not say, every time you move aside, I will continue. Yuga may have changed. I am the leader. No one else can take this position. You find Krishna when Jarasandha was killed. What did Krishna do? He did not become the king. I got Jarasandha killed. I will become the king now. I will rule from Dwarka. I will be in Dwarka, but rule Magadha from there. What did he do? He simply installed Sahadev, who was Jarasandha's son, on the throne. Right? So, what should we learn? Change with the changing times. Adapt. Let go. Move on. Right? And as devotees, let us begin today's discussion. Now you've got awake. Okay. Prabhu would say, if Krishna wants to take away from you, right? You have two hands. How much can you protect? How much can you protect? But then, if Krishna wants to bless us, and if we have two hands only to receive, but with these two hands we are grabbing Maya, where will be space for Krishna's mercy? We just have two hands, and Krishna wants to give, but we are holding so much to Maya. We have to let go something. Then only we will receive Krishna's mercy, Krishna's blessings, right? But what happens? Like we all have this experience every morning when we chant. Sometimes after 16 rounds are over, we hear, oh yeah, what did I chant? We didn't let go the previous thoughts. We didn't let go the previous something that we're holding on. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. But there is no space for the Hare Krishna to go in, to sit there. We have to let go. How many of you think to let go is difficult? I'm telling you, you all practice it every day. It's not difficult. You know how? Whole day you do so many activities, right? So much, sometimes a lot of success has come and you achieve your goals and plans. But by the time you go to sleep, what do? You let go. If you cannot let go, you cannot even sleep peacefully. Every day you do it. Every day all of us will do it. Over. The day is over. No, let go. I'll see tomorrow morning. If you cannot do it, then you need sleeping pills. Because you are holding on. You are not letting go. So one time, there was a traveler. Right? This traveler was trekking through the mountains. Right? And as he climbed higher, he came across a very small hut. And when he went closer, he stepped closer and he found that there was a sage living in that hut. Very simple, peaceful, calm person. Right? And this traveler especially looked around the hut. Hardly anything. A pair of clothes, a water pot, and a small bowl to eat. Surprised, this traveler asked this sage, "Sir, you don't seem to have many things here. Just a few belongings, no comforts, no possessions. How do you even live like this?" And the sage smiled and said, "I can ask the same question to you. As a traveler, how much luggage do you carry? How many things do you have? Just a backpack. I have to be light, otherwise I cannot go up the mountain." And the sage said, "Same with me. Even I am on a journey of life. Why should I carry unnecessary baggage with me? The lighter you travel, the easier the journey." That's how our life is. But what do we end up doing? Right? We don't just have a backpack, we have suitcases. And then we pay for extra suitcases we pay. Or sometimes when people go to the mall, right? Like what Ravana would do? Ravana would go, whichever place he would go, jo bhi achhi lagi utha lo. And bring it to London. What happens in the mall? Probably London. And then so much is there. Right? Especially in this country, you find storage spaces. Putting things there. So rather than traveling light, what happens? We all are on a journey to go back home, back to Lord. Travel light. For that, travel light, let go. Certain things, time over. That role is over for me. Let me take, right? That's why Jesus would say, human form of life is like a bridge. A bridge is meant to be crossed. Don't try to make a house on the bridge. This human form that we have got, it's not a choice that we learn this art of letting go. Right? Otherwise, it would be a life of giving. We are going to cross. So, travel light with less baggage of expectations. Right? Your opinions. Right? Some of the facilities that we want. Right? So, because as soon as the higher call comes, a devotee should learn, withdraw. Like Yudhishthira Maharaj. Yes, Krishna is left. I also leave. I don't need to, ferry call ka majboot jo hai. In India, we say like that, right? Very strong ferry call. Kya hai? Chutta nahi. We have to let go. If we don't cultivate this art of letting go, which all calls will come to us? When the call comes. The first is that the call of destiny comes. We have to move on. When the destiny calls, the third canto, first chapter 16th verse, the example comes, Vidura doesn't understand. since birth in this palace. I'm elder to Duryodhan. How could he speak such language to me? Suddenly he was told, get out of this palace, only with your breath. Duryodhan said, clothes also you cannot take from here. Only with your breath, get out. And Duryodhan looked at Dhritarashtra. He didn't say anything. Suddenly a situation came in his life, and Vidura's example comes. Let go. He simply left that palace, understanding that the external potency, if I respond now, I'll get entangled. This situation is beyond me. I cannot repair this boy anymore. I simply let go. The internal potency is creating facility for me to go on a pilgrimage. This is Vidura's conclusion. Maya is playing game, let me give up. Let me better go on a pilgrimage. Right? When the call of duty comes, then we have to let go. I'll give you a personal example by which you'll all once again be awake or alive. Okay. In 1999, Pakistan attacked India and the Kargil war, right, began then. My elder brother got married. The day he got married, the next day we got a telegram. Right? That was also a concept. Right? Telegram is not the app I'm talking about. Telegram is telegram, postal telegram. We got a telegram and it was all numbers. I couldn't make out anything, but my brother, he understood. The telegram was saying that you have to report, right? And he didn't tell us anything about which place he's supposed to report for the. Okay, sorry, I'm so sorry. The important part of the story is my brother was in army. Young boy, just got married. Next day, a telegram comes, war has begun, and you are supposed to report. Now imagine the day before, everyone is happy with the marriage. And the next day, all the relatives came back to our house. Everyone crying, don't go, don't go. And all that happened for a few hours that went on. And then my brother asked me, and I'm the youngest amongst my siblings. And my brother asked me, what should I do? I told him, bag uthao, bag uthao, go. The call of duty. A higher call. A higher duty is calling now. You cannot hold on. Move. You cannot say, I will stay at home. Move on. Right? When the call of duty comes, then also one has to move on. Right? Another call is the call of authorities. Sometimes our spiritual authorities, our seniors, right? When we have been doing some seva for years, and suddenly our authorities will sometimes say, Prabhu, Mahaji, we have done this seva for a long time. Do you mind dropping it and take something else? No, my existence is connected to this seva. Everyone knows me for this seva, right? Prabhupada says a disciple is supposed to become the yes man of spiritual master. What is yes man? It's there in Dhruva's Dhruva Maharaj section. Yes man means whenever Guru says, yes sir, yes sir, you cannot say no to Guru. That's the disciple. Disciple means discipline. Shishya means shasana. Right? So we have to cultivate this attitude. The Guru will call. Right? What is that Mataji who comes for every yatra from? She's from Paris but married Anand Shanti Prabhu in Russia. And Mandakini Mataji. Mandakini Mataji. Prabhupada came back from Russia, met only one boy, Russian boy. 5 days Prabhupada spoke to him, gave everything whatever Krishna consciousness he could give, gifted his Bhagavad Gita, came back. And in the flight, Prabhupada spoke to Shama Sundar Prabhu, his secretary. I think this boy will do good preaching. And Shama Sundar Prabhu, 5 days we have met him. And Prabhupada says, but he will not be able to sustain if he is not married. So we need to marry him. I want to find out some good girl for him. Prabhupada came to Paris and After that, and this Mataji, Mandakini Mataji, she says, she was telling us, I would always pray to the deities. If ever Prabhupada asks something of me, please give me strength, but I will say yes. And Prabhupada saw this Mataji, young girl that in those days, and Prabhupada asked her, I want somebody to marry Ananta Shanti in Moscow, which was a communist country. Even Prabhupada to enter was difficult. Prabhupada asked her, would you? And Mataji said, I said, yes. She didn't know who is that boy. She has never been to Russia. She knows life is going to be hell. But because Prabhupada asked, yes, Prabhupada. We have people amongst us who have passed this test, the call of authority, right? When the time factor we call, Kal, May, Samay, right? You find example of Khatwanga Maharaj comes. Khatwanga Maharaj was chosen by the demigods to fight on their behalf. He fought the war for a long time. And by the time the war got over, generations had passed on the earthly planet. It comes from Bhagavatam. And Khatwanga Maharaj asked, how much time do I have for, I'll be alive? How much time do I have with myself? And the Devata said, 1 moment. I said, 1 moment. And that one moment, when time was there with him, he said, I remember Krishna, I think of Krishna. He left his body. Now come back to God. When the call of time comes, and when call of Krishna comes, will you let go? Achanak se, middle of the night, Krishna will play his flute on the bank of Yamuna, under that Vamshiva tree. And each gopi could hear their name being called. And when Krishna was playing that flute, everyone tried to stop the gopis, but they did not. They simply let go. Right? So, when the call of Krishna comes, this art of letting go, we should have already mastered that art. So, I will today give. आप सबको फिर से चिंता करना पड़ेगा शायद. आँख खोल के सो रहे सामने. Open eyes. Okay. So, how many of you know Mirabai? You've heard of her? Mirabai, you've heard of? So Mirabai was given a lot of trouble and pain by Sas, her mother-in-law, and the sister-in-law. Right? But now the husband was dead. Rana was dead. And she wrote a letter to Tulsidas, who has written Ramacharitamanas. She wrote a letter, what is my duty now? The husband is no more. And the kind of situation in my home, they are not allowed to practice anything, any bhakti. What should I do? So when the letter reached Tulsidas, in the same meters as Ramacharitamanas, he wrote few lines in the same meter. But all those lines had fill up, she was supposed to fill up the blank. It was a quiz for her. She was supposed to fill up the blank. Let us see if you all can help Mirabai today. I'll tell you what happened. In the letter, Tulsidas wrote, there is somebody as a devotee, some devotee, who gave up his father to attain Krishna. Some devotee gave up his brother to attain Krishna or the Lord. Somebody gave up his guru to attain the Lord. Somebody gave up everything to attain Krishna. Anybody comes in the way of my bhakti to Rama and Vaidehi, Rama and Sita, if this world comes in the way, I will give up the world. Help Mirabai to fill up the blank. Who gave up his brother? Vibhishan to come to Rama's side. Who gave up his father? Prahlad. Gave up on his father. Who gave up on his guru? Bali Maharaj. Who gave up everything?
Gopis.
The gopis of Vrindavan. They gave up everything to attain Krishna. Mirabai understood. She didn't need the help of so many. She came to the conclusion, I need to let go. And she came to Vrindavan, and then we have the famous Mirabai, the devotee of Radha Giridhari. Right? So we all learn this art of letting go, right? And I will let go all of you also. I won't hold on with all of you till 11 o'clock. कितने खुश हो गए बाल बाप लोग. आपके चेहरे और your faces are like, wow, this was the best part of the whole session. He's letting us go. Okay, I'll stop it. But we can, if we had time, we could have discussed the life of Srila Prabhupada. Every step of his life, you see how he let go. Just let it go. He didn't hold on. Shall I give one example?
Yes.
Prabhupada, during his last days, he's on his bed in Vrindavan. You've been to Vrindavan, you've seen the bed.
Yes.
Everything is still kept like that. He's on his bed and he's talking to Tamal Krishna Maharaj. And he says, Tamal, you know, when I was at Rukmini Dwarkadish temple in LA, and the situation became, like that I had to leave LA and I had to come back to India. At that time I didn't know why. I thought LA is going to be my international headquarters and I will run the society from here, entire ISKCON, and I'll have disciples come here. I'll make a training center there, personally train each of my disciples. I had such plans. But I didn't know why situation has come to a point where I have to go to Vrindavan. And Prabhupada says, I even went to Rukmini Dwarkadish, the deities in the temple. I don't understand. But because you want me to, I will. And Prabhupada at this time in somewhere around September or October, Prabhupada left on 14th November 1977. This is somewhere September, right? Prabhupada hardly had skin and bones, that's all. Nothing. One disciple was looking at Prabhupada and he's crying. And Prabhupada said, don't cry. This will happen to you also. Okay. Prabhupada said, this will happen to you as well. See, Prabhupada is not eating. Prabhupada has few drops of water. And that time Prabhupada is telling Tamal, now I understand. Because I left India, I left Vrindavan, and I went to America to preach. Because I did that sacrifice for Krishna, Krishna had better plans for me. Krishna wanted, Rukmini Dwarkadish wanted that I go back to India, and Krishna wanted to give this Vrindavan temple to me. So Tamal, is this temple better than our Rukmini Dwarkadish temple? And Tamal Krishna was Prabhupada million times better, Prabhupada. And Prabhupada says, if only we can understand Krishna's call in our life. At that time, let go whatever we have, what we want to do. Right? I agree. And Prabhupada says that's why in Prabhupada's bhajan, right before he reached the shores of Boston, Prabhupada wrote that bhajan. Nachao, nachao, nachao se mate. Krishna, you make me dance. Right? You make me dance the way you would like me to. How many of us are ready to dance on Krishna's tunes? Very easy to say Gopi Bhav, Gopis, and Madhurya, and Radhe Radhe. Very cheap, very cheap. But we have to go through the test of fire. We have to go through the life and learn this art of letting go. क्या होना चाहिए? दो चीज. रॉकेट ऊपर क्यों जाता है? सर आग लगनी चाहिए अपने इधर पीछे. बोलेगा मतलब not by eating mirchi. Not like that. Sadhana ka aag, right? We have to perform, we have to prepare ourselves. And even if you have prepared yourself, prepare also that you have to let go. There will be empty cylinders. We all can do this homework for ourselves. What empty cylinders am I holding on to? Because the goal is to go back home. Active heart. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavad Mahapurana ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Kai Gaur Premanande. So it's 8:50 already, so we won't take questions.